Checks. That's wrong.
That's not in the code.
So I'm sure he's right. Is he right? I mean, he's more good looking, so I assume he's smarter.
Well, it appears from the video that he's not right and he's going to lose because he did
He's
not
gonna
follow.
lose. He's gonna lose. Hey Suang, what am I wearing today?
A dress?
No, I'm wearing a suit dress because today we're gonna be watching Suits. Catch us, real lawyers reacting to Suits. Let's go! Bing bang!
How does this usually work? Well, usually the trial starts and there's a judge and then people say things. No, that's why I never drove a car before the first time I drove one. I'm still here, all right?
This is your first time? Like first? Don't worry, I promise not to be gentle.
Frank, please.
So Suang, this does not happen in Singapore, right?
Yeah. Number one, lawyers don't talk to each other like that in Singapore. Number
Yeah.
two, the color scheme is wrong of the clothes. And number three, clients don't sit with their lawyers in Singapore court.
What do you mean my lawyers don't talk to people in Singapore?
No, don't talk to them like that in Singapore.
Like
It's kind
how?
of, insulting conversations don't really happen.
You
In
gotta
fact, some of
be,
my best friends are opposing counsel.
you gotta be like professional to the other person.
Professional, and in most times, it will be in your interest to be friendly with your opposing lawyers.
And what about like the dress code?
The dress code, it's in Singapore generally black or very dark blue.
So this pass.
This for women, you still need a white blouse with a black jacket.
I don't like white blouses. That's why I don't go to court. But what about if you're not a lawyer and you're just there as like the client or the witness?
Just dress formally and appropriately for the occasion. You don't have to wear black and white.
So don't go there with your pink dress.
If it pleases the court,
It pleases the court to decide who speaks and when.
Do people actually say, do we please the court in Singapore as well?
Actually, the protocol is to say, may it please the court. in Singapore.
May it please the court.
Yes.
And I also know that in Singapore, you have to address a judge by Your Honor.
Yes. So the rules do prescribe you address judges by Your Honor. As for registrars, generally the rules don't say that you address them by Your Honor, but that's what everybody does. And
Can you go like sir or can you go like bro?
you can go sir with registrars, but most lawyers say Your Honor to registrars.
No bros with registrars.
Bros, no.
You're gonna get kicked out. So no bros, yeah?
We're talking about $4,000 in withheld rent payments.
yes, Your Honor, but we have receipts for repairs.
This is just so wrong to me.
You're so wrong. Yeah, I look so wrong, man.
First and foremost, in the Singapore context, both sides lawyers would have already submitted their written arguments in advance. And secondly, the lawyers are not going to be presenting evidence right there in the hearing. Normally, they would already be in sworn statements and the documents would already be shown in advance.
Does that mean Singapore lawyers and Singapore judges work harder than American judges?
Yes, unless of course, not sure whether this video is accurate, but in Singapore, judges would have read all the documents and submissions way in advance. Most of the time they come in and then they would say, I've read everything, you just address me on the most important points or you just answer my question.
Repairs, lost clothing, as well as...
$4,000, yes, Your Honor. Just talking to me. Why hasn't he paid counselor? That one was for you.
Bedbugs, Your Honor. I have receipts that show my client's financial outlay to rectify the problem far exceeds the amount.
Housing Department certified the presence of bedbugs.
Yes, Your Honor.
Statement. Your Honor, this is an eviction hearing. The pertinent question is not habitability, but whether or not rent has been paid.
Actually, City Code states that rent may be withheld if the warranty of habitability is breached.
In that case, we request to see the checks Mr. Ross's client has placed in escrow.
The...
Checks in escrow. Pending the outcome of a rent abatement hearing.
That's not in the code.
It is the accepted practice. And therefore binding in this...
Well, it's not in the code, so it's my I mean, he's more good looking, so I assume he's smarter. So I'm sure he's right. Is he right?
Well, it appears from the video that he's not right and he's going to lose because he did
He's
not
gonna
follow.
lose, but the video says he's gonna win.
He's going to lose.
gonna
You will
lose,
see
okay.
very soon. And the reason he is losing is that he didn't abide by a protocol which happens not to be written into any law, any rule, or any regulation. And in fact, that can also happen in Singapore. So there are certain norms that lawyers who are very experienced will abide by when they go to court. There is the document called Affidavit of Non-Satisfaction that's used in bankruptcy proceedings. It is not explicitly set out in the rules that a plaintiff must file an affidavit of non-satisfaction, but it is the norm. And if you don't file it, the court is not going to grant your bankruptcy order.
Top secret.
Binding in this courtroom. Your client to put money in escrow, I assume.
And how do you like that?
Eviction upheld.
Your Honor.
Did you see me bang the gavel? That means step aside.
Ah, do people bang the gavel in Singapore? That's pretty cool. Ping bang. No? No.
Totally not.
No, okay.
No hammers in Singapore.
It's
People
like-
do glares if the judge wants to make a point.
So in Singapore, the Singapore way of doing the ping pang is
Rachel owns 5 buildings, and all used to be rent controlled. Now, over $1.5 million a unit.
Nice profit margin.
Went to look for housing department complaints the year prior to his remodel. Each one of them tenants who
can lawyers in Singapore act as 007 detectives and go and investigate the situation by themselves?
Generally, no. Number one, lawyers, we don't have the expertise to do it.
I'm good though. I'm good at being an investigator.
And then that comes to the second reason, which is that if we become the investigator and we gather evidence ourselves or we witness some incriminating things ourselves, we become personally a witness of fact in the Singapore context. And there's a professional rule, which is that once you become a witness of fact, you cannot then also be a lawyer in a dispute.
Got it. So if you want to be a 007, hire a PI.
Indeed.
Yeah, don't do it yourself.
who couldn't buy into the conversion ended up with some complaint. Garbage, heat, air, all of them, one by one. Basically drunk them out.
You names for housing complaints?
No, he gave me some names, but to make this bigger than just his building.
I only get 1 hour off a day for lunch. I never do your name for this.
See these people are living in the building? The entire building looks like that. I know I clean up okay, but
Class up a bit.
not classy.
We want that lunch. We will share.
I'm using
As was this.
That doesn't feel right. Like, do people just like...
I found it so abrupt. But I guess we did it for dramatic effect.
Yeah.
But no, in Singapore, lawyers don't just turn up in the other lawyer's office and
But
swagger.
the
and-
key question is, are Singapore lawyers that good looking? Because Mike Ross is so handsome. I want to be a lawyer too.
I shall reserve my comments in that regard.
Can I like pop out evidence and say like, oh yeah, I got this for you?
Yes, you can do that. In fact, I had a case a few years ago whereby parties went to the without prejudice meeting, and then one of the clients just sidebarred the other client.
What's sidebar?
It was just brought the other client to a corridor without lawyers present, and basically showed certain
Naughty
things,
photos.
certain naughty photos that probably the other side's wife shouldn't be allowed to see
So-
at all.
Just don't do naughty things.
And it was of zero relevance to the exact legal dispute at hand, but that case settled very fast.
So it can happen, but you have to, there's some rules and processes to follow first.
Yes, correct.
Okay.
As was this lawsuit.
Then,
take your sack of presents and run, kid.
and then he takes off his jacket.
You're way over your head. Oh, I think it'll be just fine. Hello, didn't you?
Hello. So the rookie called in the veteran.
No, I'm just here to watch. Little spectator sports.
You enjoy watching the Yankees destroy a little league team?
David and Goliath happens to be one of my favorite stories.
Okay. I'll buy. What's in the bag?
Hey, what are you doing? Oh, do you recognize this carpet? Make him get that out of here. This is your own carpet, Mr. Krinsky. It's from Frank Carvello's apartment.
So can you just go to people's office and throw something dirty?
You'll be found liable for harassment and causing an alarm.
Got it. So this is not allowed.
Not allowed, definitely not by lawyers. I think if you do that as a lawyer, you may get disbarred.
Don't do that.
You feel the fibers, the texture, it's almost alive. You put bed bugs in here.
Oh, that's vandalism, assault.
You know, I'm happy that you put it that way because that's exactly what we're going to be charging your client with.
What are you talking about?
He didn't just fail to eradicate a bedbug infestation, he actually created one. Yeah, he pulled the carpet from one of his old buildings, carpet that was already infested, and then he reinstalled it in my client's apartment to drive him out. That's crazy.
You might want to warn your client about perjury. We've got some more testimony from the installer.
And a picture of the same carpet from one of his old buildings before it was renovated.
Whoa. So Mike won in his terms, but did he really win? Because this is outside the court.
Yes, it would appear that because the claimant here has become quite threatened by this situation, so parties would come to an amicable settlement whereby the claimant here will pay quite a handsome sum to the defendant, Ross's client.
So they enter into like a settlement agreement
Yes.
that they will submit to court or not really?
Settlement agreements can either be completely private or they can be filed in court as a consent order.
So we hope you enjoyed this video and now you know a little bit more about how court cases are being conducted in Singapore. We hope you enjoyed this video and if you liked it, remember to like, share and subscribe and see you next time.